Today we're talking about pop-up camper trucks. Recently, one of my buddies told me his last camping trip was basically ruined by his overcomplicated camper. It was too damn heavy, a pain to set up, and even more of a pain to pack. And man, that's not a one-off story, because once you actually take these setups off-road, you realize half the stuff that looks great on paper just doesn't hold up in the real world. So today, I'm breaking down the pop-up camper trucks that don't just look good in brochures. They actually earn their keep when it matters most. Let's go. So let's kick things off with the Allterra Tech Basecamp OV1, a Canadian-built wedge canopy that proves you can get real weather protection without dropping 15 grand. The shell is constructed from 1/8-inch aluminum panels with stainless steel hardware, which keeps the weight manageable while resisting corrosion in wet, muddy conditions. But the real standout is the gas strut-assisted pop-up mechanism. You're looking at a 15 to 20 second setup that lifts with one hand, no wrestling or fumbling with poles. Inside, you get a full standing height wedge layout with an 8-foot foam mattress platform, triple-layer window flaps for ventilation and blackout, and MOLLE-backed exterior doors for organized gear access. Now, it's not perfect. The modular accessory ecosystem is limited compared to brands like AluGab, and if you're in the States, servicing options are mostly Canada-based. But at around $10,800 for mid-size trucks, it undercuts the competition by nearly half while delivering the same core durability and livability. Next up is the Oru Designs Bruin XL. Constructed out of aluminum composite panels with polymer honeycomb cores, which means you're getting legitimate insulation and weather sealing at around 400 to 500 pounds total. That's lighter than most rooftop tents, but with 4-season protection that softshells just can't match. The setup uses gas struts for a one-person lift in under a minute. And here's the kicker. The interior is 7 feet wide by 10 feet long, giving you genuinely configurable sleeping options. Queen plus twin XL, full king, or even multi-level setups for 3 people. Built-in benches double as storage bases, and the 4 acrylic windows with mesh panels keep airflow solid without leaking heat. Now, it's bare bones out of the box, so you're adding water, power, and kitchen gear aftermarket. And Oru's support network is mostly California-centric, which can complicate servicing. At $15,500, it's not cheap, but you're getting space and structure that rivals heavier slide-in campers without the truck-wrecking weight. Now we're stepping into a completely different category with the Cube series. This is what happens when you engineer a pop-up camper like it's actual aerospace equipment. Built in Oregon using vacuum-bonded fiberglass and resin-infused panels, this thing eliminates canvas entirely, which means zero rot, zero leaks, and legitimate 4-season insulation that actually works in sub-freezing temps. The roof lifts via 24-volt electric linear actuators. Press a button, wait about 30 seconds, and you've got 78 inches of standing height without breaking a sweat. At 1,206 pounds dry, it keeps your truck's center of gravity low enough for technical trails while packing a 21-gallon fresh tank, an 18,000 BTU furnace, and optional 760-watt solar with lithium battery upgrades. Inside, you get thermofoil countertops, aluminum cabinetry, a dual-power fridge, and a convertible dinette that sleeps 2, though honestly, the 43-inch bed width is snug for larger adults. The thing is that you're looking at a $43,500 base price, climbing past $55,000 fully loaded, and the interior storage is tight for extended trips. But if you're chasing year-round capability with push-button convenience, this is the benchmark. Now, Alaskan Campers has been building hard-sided pop-ups for nearly 70 years, and that track record matters when you're dealing with below-zero temps and alpine wind. The construction is straightforward but effective. Thick foam insulation sandwiched between solid walls with metal corner reinforcements, giving you genuine thermal protection that soft shells simply can't replicate. The pop-up mechanism lifts to around 70 inches of headroom, and while it's manual lift with struts rather than electric, the trade-off is fewer failure points on remote trails. Inside, you're getting solid maple cabinetry, a 27-gallon fresh tank on the 8-foot model, a forced air furnace that actually keeps pace with cold snaps, and a 3.5 cubic foot fridge. It's a bit on the heavier side, with a dry weight of 1,390 pounds, and climbs past 1,700 depending on options, which pushes mid-sized trucks to their limits, and most models skip gray water tanks entirely, so you're managing wastewater manually. At $41,900 for the 8-foot version, it's premium pricing, but you're buying proven, 4-season capability that's been field-tested across decades. The Hiatus Camper is where engineering gets surgical. This Washington-built unit weighs between 460 and 490 pounds, which means you're adding barely more than a couple passengers to your payload while getting legitimate hard-wall protection. The secret is a patented composite folding wall system mounted to a welded aluminum frame, creating insulated panels that collapse flat but expand with gas struts in under 15 seconds, which equals to one-person, one-hand deployment, even in wind or rain. The walls aren't just weather-resistant, they're actually insulated enough for shoulder-season camping without condensation turning your gear into a swamp. Inside, you get a slide-out sleeping platform measuring 61 by 74 inches, with modular furniture options like storage benches and a sink setup, plus integrated Yakima tracks for roof-mounted gear. The catch? It's designed as a customizable shell, not a turnkey RV, so you're building out utilities yourself, and the double-door option requires tailgate removal, which kills daily drivability. At $17,000 base, with lead time stretching into 2026, it's not cheap or fast to acquire. But for overlanders chasing maximum capability with minimal weight penalty, this is the sweet spot between a rooftop tent and a full camper. The AluBlack Camper from South Africa is built on a vibration-damped flatbed tray that absorbs corrugations and washboard roads way better than standard bed mounts, keeping your gear from rattling apart on technical trails. The system layers an aluminum composite canopy with slide-out kitchen components. We're talking a dual-burner stove, Ingle fridge, water heater, and electric pump, all integrated into pull-out drawers, topped with an electric lift Bundu top tent that opens to a Super King sleeping area with actual sitting headroom inside the tent itself. Setup is genuinely quick because the hard canopy stays mounted while the roof tent lifts electrically, so you're camp ready in under 2 minutes without wrestling poles or fabric. The beauty is versatility. Components unbolt fast, letting you reconfigure from weekend camper to weekday work truck without permanent commitment. Base pricing starts at $16,950, but climbs past $22,950 fully loaded, and US availability is limited, with most support routed through South African dealers, which complicates warranty and parts access. The Scout Olympic proves that mechanical simplicity actually wins in the field. This full-size truck camper uses a patent-pending Easy Rise lever system with gas struts that lets one person pop the vacuum-infused composite roof in about 30 seconds, with zero electronics to fail when you're 3 days from cell service. The soft walls are a 3-layer system co-developed with Go Fast Campers, 300 denier ripstop nylon with insulated panels and clear vinyl windows that zip open for 360-degree views, which sounds gimmicky until you're actually watching sunrise from your bed without leaving the sleeping bag. At 1,145 pounds with dual 100-watt solar panels and a 132 amp-hour battery system standard, it keeps your truck's handling predictable on washboard roads while providing legitimate off-grid power. Inside, the convertible dinette seats 4 adults and transforms into sleeping space with an optional 77-inch bed extension, though the 4.9-gallon fresh tank means you're refilling often on extended trips. At $29,990 base, climbing toward $35,500 loaded, it's not cheap, and soft walls will never match hard-sided thermal performance in deep cold. But for full-size truck owners chasing reliability over gadgets, this is worth a look. Now, before we get to my final 2 absolute favorite campers on this list, if you're into no BS breakdowns like this, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Not ready for that? Totally fine. Just drop a like instead, because that's what helps me know this kind of content is actually useful. The 4-wheel camper's Hawk Plus is built for people who aren't coming back after a long weekend. The construction starts with a welded aluminum frame and one-piece roof that eliminates leak points, mounted to a flatbed tray that distributes weight evenly across the truck's chassis rather than concentrating it over the axle like bed-mounted units. Pop the roof with manual struts and you've got 6'6" of standing room with 60 inches collapsed for highway aerodynamics. But here's what separates this from weekend gear: a 40-gallon fresh water tank with integrated 5-gallon gray water management, up to 810 amp-hours of lithium battery capacity, and 500 watts of roof solar controlled by RedArc's Manager Alpha for intelligent power distribution. The redesigned interior adds 6 inches of usable floor space with dinette seating for 4 and pass-through exterior storage with a flip-down table. The catch? You need a heavy-duty truck with a 7-foot flatbed to mount it, and at $43,995 base before options, you're paying premium prices for premium capability. Lead times stretch months due to demand, and service centers are concentrated regionally. But if your trips measure in weeks, not days, this is what you need. And now for our final pick, we have the Supertramp Flagship LT. Built in Colorado using aerospace vacuum infusion with a fiberglass composite shell and recycled PET foam core, creating a monocoque structure that's rigid enough to handle washboard roads without delaminating while staying at 1,350 pounds dry. The roof lifts via electric linear actuators in about 10 seconds with a button press. No manual struts or wrestling required, giving you 6'9" of standing height inside an 82-inch floor length with a queen bed, bamboo counters, and an isotherm fridge. Power management runs through a Victron Smart Shunt system with 330 watts of solar and 100 amp-hours of lithium standard, while the Truma Combi Eco handles both forced air heat and hot water from a 24-gallon fresh tank. Dual max air fans and Arctic Turn dual-pane windows with triple-layer insulated soft walls keep condensation and temperature swings under control across 4 seasons. Now, its base price hits $59,975 and climbs past $70,000 fully loaded. You need at least a 3/4-ton truck to handle payload safely, and boutique production means long wait times with limited service networks. But if you want the absolute pinnacle of pop-up engineering, where every system is dialed for extended off-grid living without compromise, this is it.